of the UWI Community Film Project. To my right is Patterson. She's one of the instructors on the course as well as a community animator. She works with the young people and helps me recruit the students who participate in the course. And to her right is Marshae McAnuff. She's actually one of the graduates of our last cohort 5. And you'll be seeing one of her films today, this morning, and she'll be able to explain to you the process and her experience doing the project and what she's doing now since she's graduated from the course. So to give you some background on the course, it has been a 3-year course so far. We started in August 2012 with about 5 students from the Greater Augustown community. And we wanted to find a way to engage young people in a skill that would help to develop themselves and to develop their communities. And we figured that film would be a good way to help to tell their stories, their personal stories, as well as stories that they experience in their communities. So the course has since developed into a 6 to 8 week course where they learn the entire process of filmmaking. It is a very intensive course because they learn a lot in a short period of time, but they learn all the steps that are needed to produce a short film because we focus on short films. And at the end of the course, they are allowed to form a group with their team. It's a random selection that we do this, so they don't know who they're going to be used with, but they do get to select the role that they get to play. So they're either the director or the production person or the editor in the group. And they work together to produce their own short film. And that is shown at their graduation ceremony, and they also receive a certificate of participation and completion. So that's a very brief description of the course. EK, you want to speak a little bit to the community engagement?
Well, as Mellissa said, I am an instructor. I teach the production on the course along with my other team members who will teach the individual genres of filmmaking. I also go into the communities and recruit young people who are marginalised, just not doing anything, just not engaged in anything. And basically we bring them onto the project and we engage them in filmmaking. It's a great way of the young people being able to tell their stories. In particular, I'm excited about what's going on today in today's conference about the young people, because who better to tell the stories than the young people themselves. And I think that we need to do more with media, using media as a platform to get our messages out there from the young people, and that's what the project can do. I think that we'll all agree that Jamaica monopolizes the music with our artists. Everybody in Jamaica seems to have a voice and has a story to tell, and they either put it into music, poetry. Now we want to start putting those messages into film.
In 2012, the Center for Tourism and Policy Research embarked on a project in the Greater Augustown community. Now, this project was aimed at training young people in the community in the rudiments of video and filmmaking.
And your hand was all around her, Vivian, in a close position? Don't you dare baby me.
From the very moment he came up with the idea or pitched the idea to me, I was very interested. I like working with young people, but not that I'm not young myself, but I like working with people who have talent and passion and vibrance, and I also like being a part of a developmental process, and I feel like this project is exactly that. The community members have a lot of talent, but because of the stigma and the perceptions of the outside community, they haven't been given a chance to express that side, the historical side, the cultural side, and I think that this project gives that opportunity and gives that avenue to young people to express themselves.
Action! Hey Carly, can you spare me a minute? I want to talk to you a bit. Action! Somebody call ambulance!
I started out in 2012 in the summer, around in the summertime there about, and it was 5 days, very intense 5 days in doing this project. I didn't actually know nothing about so much about filming, and I'd even think about as a person could from Augustine community could really make a video or anything, because I never done it before. Anyway, he asked me what I wanted to do, and I told him I wanted to tell a story about Augustine, do a documentary actually.
Nestled in the foothills of the Long and Dallas Mountains in the Kingston 7 area is the community of August Town. It is home to 5 districts: African Gardens in the east, Goldsmith Villa to the west, Hermitage to the northwest, Bedwood Gardens to southeast, and August Town proper at the center.
A lot of young people with talent get the chance to express it and show it. And as you know, this is a garrison where opportunities hard to come by.
Camera rolling. Action.
Vivian, if you give me these, what you give the girl I saw you making out with in the park the other day?
Girl. Me?
Yes, girl, yes, you. And you told me you was at work?
Oh, she. Well, our instructors teach us many things, and believe you me, I appreciate it so much. My fellows, classmates, appreciate it so much, and it shows in our work, it shows in our appearance, it showed in so many things, and believe you me, the teachers was wonderful.
Basically, I think this program was very extraordinary. Also, what I find very interesting is the producing and directing part of the program, where they to learn how to be a manager. Different from that, I think this program is a very good program to branch off and be globally to Jamaica.
I feel as if they want to use a model like this, it doesn't have to be filmed. It didn't have to be filmed when it came to this project. It could be anything, but it's important to tap into the positive side of a community and to manifest on those talents, I feel, and that is what would propel them to success, to reach for a goal and to concentrate on that goal. I think that practice is good for any person in development growing up, or for any community that wants to change the perception.
Film is really about telling stories, so we have provided an opportunity for young people, for persons who might be classified as marginalized or even at risk, and those who are not at risk but are from some communities which are not as well-to-do as others within the society. We've provided an opportunity for them to tell of an experience, because we know that they have a story to tell, they have a narrative, and we expect that this narrative will be greatly fascinating to those who will view the films during Greater August Town Film Festival.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
I would just like to say that entire documentary was actually made by the students, edited, produced, written. Everything was done by the students of the various different cohorts. So I would like to introduce you to Marshae, who was one of our students on the previous cohort, and she will introduce you to her movie. Hi, good morning everyone. Pleasure to be here. Thanks Mellissa, of course Professor Maxwell and the whole project. Well, my film is about, it's called Welcome Home first of all, and we tried not to make it atypical when writing the screenplay. It's about a young Jamaican girl from a promising, she has a promising young girl. She's from a so-called affluent background. She lives uptown, as opposed to the typical Jamaican movies which are set in the ghetto. And, she lives in this nice scenic environment, well-manicured lawns. However, behind the walls of her house, there are tumultuous. So because of this now, she seeks a kind of escape and gets herself into trouble. And of course, you'll see the movie, so I won't have to say the whole movie. But I think the movie touches on a lot of issues that are unaddressed in our society, which causes young people to get into trouble still. Maybe people who could have helped, not knowing what it is that young people are up against, are not able to either be in a position to help them or just be aware of the problems that exist on a whole. So, right, hopefully this movie will be able to make some changes in people's lives as well, because it also shows at the end of the movie that regardless of what you go through in life, that you can still overcome, you can still be successful, and it all just depends on your mindset. Alright, so I hope you enjoy it. Oh, it's based on a real life event as well. Volume.
Hey there.
Hi.
You okay?
What?
Hold on. Are you alright?
Yes.
How far are you going?
Just up the road.
Just down the road. Come in and let me take you.
Why?
I have tea, but I won't buy.
I can't be sure of that.
Come in, Dad. It's a hot day. Ooh, stop looking at her head, girl. So what's your name?
I'm Nina, and you?
I'm Ricky. Nice to meet you, Nina.
Nice. Nice. That piece is heavy, yo. I love it. But I could
never play something like that in my parents' house. They'd kill me.
Sound like your parents have got heavy manners. Independence is a thing, you know. Look at me. Everything I have, I've had to work hard for it. Even since I was younger than you.
Yeah, but you need a skill, regardless of how you work hard. The only skill I have is sewing.
I'm sure you passed the age of consent, you know. Technically, your parents don't have to be responsible for you anymore. You're a big woman now, man. Time to do it. What you say? You love designing, right?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me show you something.
What? Where are we going? No, I have to get home soon.
Your school, man. You'll be home on time.
That was quite impressive. You have quite a story there.
I bet you didn't know I do my own tailoring and supply my own stocks. Hold on, let me take care of some business, alright?
Alright. Just wait then. only your parents will let you do it. I don't need your permission to do it though. I have my passport. I can travel. Here what? You can go try this on. Alright. Go ahead. What's up? She's the new decoy. We're traveling in a couple of weeks. You know the deal. I give her a little to carry. She gets stuff. I go with Moderators. Collateral damage. Yeah. Wait, no problem. He looks familiar. Oh, he's our doctor friend. He works for us. Yes, he makes stuff for us. You know what? Let's just find him.
Where coming from?
I was out with friends.
My son will close at 9 p.m.
We drink again.
Drunk? Drunk? How sure you drunk?
I stopped. The neighbors. Stay with it till the morning. You know. Go to the bed. Nina, it's time.
Why can't I get a job? I'm qualified. It's not all about you, Nina. It's been 1 week and we have not spoken. I was living with a monster. The whole system is a monster. And the monster won't hire the poor teen. What you going to do, Nina? I am not just a poor teen. Not again. stand still a bit, please? value from the start to the end of contact.
Yeah, I know it's transmitting. There are a couple ways. You can get it from mosquito bites, that's for sure. But you can get it from having sex, or if you were to have an open wound and somebody with HIV or AIDS, had an open wound and their blood got into your bloodstream and your blood would be contaminated. You can also get it from having oral sex, which a lot of people don't know. And as such, a lot of people having oral sex don't use protection, should use protection when having oral sex. That's why we have flavored condoms, and flavored condoms are also scented most of the times. And also children as babies can get it while in the process of being made, because the child is in the mother's womb and is being fed by the mother. So everything in the mother's system affects the baby. The baby is somewhat of an organ with it.
And so we walk and spread to someone else. And the habit, try to take care of yourself.
Thank you. Before we speak to Marshae, I just want to speak a little bit to life. You can see it was done 2013. It was done in our very early years of doing this project on cohort 3. And the young person, Richard Brown, is actually working, was not able to come today. However, I was the person who was kind of like the mentor on that project with him. And Richard, when we met Richard, we have a recruitment process where we go, as I say, around the communities. And we met Richard in another district of Augusttown, just on the streets with some other young people. And he showed me some absolutely brilliant short stories that he had written, but never obviously put them to film. But when he came onto the project, he decided that he didn't want to tell his story, he wanted to tell Barrington's story. And so, you know, we went and we met Barrington, and he had been somebody that had supported Barrington in the community, you know, helping him out and stuff. But, you know, Richard himself was not educated with HIV and AIDS, so, you know, he was able to just do what he could, but he wanted to tell the story to let young people know that the only way really is abstinence. And as you hear, the young lady said she did not trust the condoms, and then you heard the story from Barrington that it was a condom that burst. And, you know, when we met him, it's really sad really, but he died a couple of months after the movie was made. So it was very nice that this young person, even though he had his own stories and could have glorified in his own work, he decided to tell somebody else's story, and you know, we appreciate that. So, you know, it's not just about telling your stories in the communities, you can in fact empower and tell other people's stories, so thank you.
So we can open the floor now to comments and questions.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tahira, and I'm from the Pacific Youth Council. I'm in full agreement with projects as such, especially when you work within the grassroots level and with marginalized young people. But we all know that one of the most highlighted youth issues is youth unemployment. right? At the end of the day, young people do need money to survive or to provide for their families or to pay for education and so forth. So I wanted to ask, and maybe for all other projects for young people, how far can these projects help young people earn an income, right? I understand that these projects are great for engaging young people meaningfully. It helps them, of course, stay away from crime and other antisocial activities and so forth. It helps young people build personal development and social skills and so forth. But at the end of the day, we need income to survive and do other necessary things. So how far can these projects or projects as such take young people to, help young people provide for themselves financial-wise?
Thank you for that question. One of the things that we do encourage on the project is entrepreneurship. I want to say, let's say this is our success stories. The young lady taking photographs there was on the project and graduated and became an intern with RJR. At the moment, our local TV station, RJR, has 3 interns. Well, they were interns, they're now on permanent contracts. In the community, we have a TV show, a local TV show called the Blackburns, and we have one of our young people that started on the project, graduated, was taken as an intern, and is now permanent, been there 2.5 years. Also upped on his skills from editor into camera rigger. There's also a young person in the community who is the personal photographer and videographer for a well-known artist in Jamaica, and gets to travel around the Caribbean islands working for himself. He also does commercials. We also get work in, and we give out the work to our young people. We work on a local TV show, a phone chart show. We do various other different things where young people are actually earning. So, anybody else? I'm thinking anybody else? Yeah? So they do go on to actual earn. You must understand that we have around 35 to 40 students that come on our course. It's not all those students that come on the course that actually want to have a career in film, but more have an interest in film. So the skills that they develop enable them to even have the confidence to come out of the community and go into a corporate Jamaican entity and get a job. So we have people that move on, they go to work in big corporate companies doing telesales, which skills that they've developed. We have people that go on to further education. We have a young man who was on one of the movies there who went to marine school, and I think he's training to do engineering. So there's different outlets and different roads that you can take, and there's different things that the young people get from being on a project like this.
Sorry, does that also include young people who are not in the course, especially like the inner city youth that you involve?
Here's what happens. The young people that come on the course have a massive influence in their community. So they're learning how to make films. They go back into their community, and they have lots of actors. So the community itself might not be kind of earning from that, but there is something there for the community to do. It has a massive impact on the community. If you have a young person that's on a film project like this, it has an impact on his family, his extended family, and all his friends, because invariably we go back into the communities at different times. If they're keeping like a corner league football game, we'll go into the community, set up our screen and play the movies that the young people have been involved in and the particular community have acted in, so they get to see themselves. So it has a wider impact on the communities.
My name is Nicole Brown. I am representing the Tobago House of Assembly, and my question is in line to Hiri's question in terms of the impact beyond just the economic impact. I wanted to know, your first of all, congratulations on an excellent project, I wanted to know what are the mechanisms that you use to evaluate your impact on the community. To say that if, suppose some global organization decides that they want to pump millions of dollars into this project and they need to see in terms of statistics and mechanisms for knowing how this has really impacted the community. What are some of the mechanisms in place to measure the impact of the program, not just on the persons who participate, but also the persons who, the wider community?
Let me just tell you about one of the processes that we do. Normally in communities, when we go into the communities, there are various issues within the community. Let's use August Town as an example. It's broken down into all the districts, and all the districts are at loggerheads with each other. So first of all, we have to integrate the whole of the community. So when they first come on the project, the first week is spent doing icebreaker sessions. We have to break down the barriers, because young people who have been known as killer, shotter, all their life to other people in the community are now identifying themselves with name badges. So killer is now Theodore Campbell, and shotter is now Roger Campbell. Right? So it's like you have to break down those barriers. So we run a series of workshops. The impact that is had on August Town, for example, is that young people who would not cross over into another district are now fused together to work as a team on a movie. So when we go back into the communities, Theodore, who's not going into this particular district, is now going into this district. So what I think that the project does in that case is kind of fuse these communities together, where now we have a common interest as to why I can come into your community. That then has an effect, because if you're coming into the community and my friend is a bit, ooh, but no, he's all right, he's okay. So then it has an effect then and widens itself out. So on the other bits of the technical stuff, I think Mellissa can address that. But I just wanted to let you know the initial process as to how we break down those barriers.
Yes, apart from looking at the amount of graduates that we might have, for example, or the amount of persons who are engaged in the industry after they graduate or have moved on to a job or some type of income generation skill, we also look at the sustainability of the project in the community that we're in. And we're working on, for example, having our formats be replicated in the community, and that is driven by the community. So persons who graduate from the course, for example, one person play or have the role that I have, someone who is coordinating any projects that are happening in the community. And then there will be persons who will be able to tutor others, persons who have not been on the course, for example, to answer Tahira's question, to train persons in the community who have not been involved in the course on the rudiments of film. So they now have the skills that are needed to produce films, or if there are events in the community, they can document those events, like football games or funerals, birthday parties. So the hope is that the community itself would have its own filming hub or media house or skills training center or something based on the skills that they learned during the project. That is the long-term goal for the community, and how the community itself can develop from the experience of the project.
But what I wanted to know more about is in terms of statistical methodologies to say that, all right, the film program started in X, Y, and Z. In when did it start? 2012. In 2012, there were X incidents of so. This person was involved in these things before. Right. Since the film program has come in, incidents of whatever types of incidents have reduced by X percent. Those are the kind of things I want to know.
It's a very young project, and very recently, actually last year, we started a program evaluation. So what we're going to do now is every year conduct that evaluation of the project and evaluation of the program, and we can see where the weaknesses are and where the strengths are, and from the graduates and persons who have gone through the course, how it has impacted their lives and how the community has been impacted. So there is a structured formal program evaluation that we do every year, or will be doing every year since last year.
I'd just like to quickly also, is I live in Augustown, so I can actually vouch that some of the young people that have been on the project, that weren't on the project before, were actually on the streets and are not on the streets anymore. I know in particular 2 young men who were actually involved in gang violence who are no longer involved. So I can speak personally to that, but in terms of statistics and figures, no. And I can honestly say as well that Augustown, because I've lived there 3 years, and when I first lived there 3 years ago, was kind of, volatile, and it has quieted down. It has its spats, but it has quieted down. Not just because of the project, because of a number of initiatives, because you know that when you engage the community in something like, anytime we have corner league football for 3 months, we're quiet for 3 months.
Hi, and good morning. I'm Khadija Williams, Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm glad that the last participant asked that question, because I too wanted to find out how do you evaluate the successes? I also need to find out, please, if you can tell me, in terms of sustainability of your project, right? So your funding has come to an end. How do you then mainstream this idea into the community? And I'll say that because back at home, I work with young people in the school system, and they actually use their cell phones to make videos, which when you look at it, it's like very professional videos. So they have the resources, and it's not necessarily from a structured program, but they go on YouTube, they get their information, they understand the concepts around filmmaking. So how have you managed to mainstream this post-funding and for sustainability of your project? That's one question. And the other question is, I saw the 3 clips of videos, and they were all, to me, around some of the negative experiences of young people, and I do understand that, because coming out of their experiences, they'll reflect that in their filmmaking. Do you also encourage them to focus on filming positive aspects of their experiences, success stories from their communities? I firmly believe that the medium is the message, and more positive films young people see in marginalized communities, they'll follow suit. So those 2 questions, and thanks again for a good presentation.
I would like to address the latter question. We do encourage our students to think outside of the box. We encourage our students to think, what you want to make money out of movies? Think outside of the box. Think about what the rest of the world want to see, and you're absolutely right, positive stories. We showed these, yesterday we showed 2 positive stories. I don't know if you were here, but whoever was here will agree that those movies that came from the communities were completely outside of the box. What we decided to do was show another side today of the movies where the young people are telling their personal stories and the reason why they wanted to show their personal stories. But yes, we do encourage definitely positive messages. What was the other question?
The sustainability, right? That's what you're asking. I kind of addressed it about how, okay, the nature of the project, we go into different communities at a time. So each cohort, we would be in 1 community or 2 communities and recruit persons from those communities. When we do leave that community, yes, we would hope that the community will now use the module and what we put in place, the structure, to continue what they've learned and to pass it on to other persons in the community. And I was explaining that, for example, they can have training centers, because we have persons who are training other persons in the rudiments of film outside of what they've learned in the course. Also, we just last week someone came to us saying that they have a production, a movie, and they want persons who graduated from the course along with persons that they're casting into the community to be a part of that film. So what happens now is that they're individual persons who are starting their own businesses, starting their own projects, and they're using the community and the skills that they got from the course to further develop themselves and to generate income. So what happens is that they now independently are carrying out the skills that they learned in the course and also are creating their own businesses. So that is how the project is sustained. And I think Lamar as well has his own business. They're individual persons who are having their own businesses, so they get to generate income for themselves and buy cameras, get tripods, and so they can further the film industry in the community.
One of the other things that we did as well is we set up the Greater August Town Film Festival, GapFest, which was really a platform so that young people were able to show their films from the communities, although we have international as well. We had a third year was this year, and we had a prize where the local filmmaker won the chance to go over to Love Thy Shorts Film Festival and show their film and actually visit there next year. So that was the platform. And in terms of the mobile phone movies, we've actually opened that up this year. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go into the schools, we're going to do outreach into the schools, because yes, young people are making absolutely amazing movies with their phones. So the resources of having to have $1 million camera, now you can use these on your phone. So that is the next step for us this year for GapFest 2016 is the mobile phone movie competition as well.
Good morning, everybody. Katie K. Williams, I'm a researcher on the project. My colleagues are doing a good job. Just want to add something to answer your question about sustainability. We also have the director of the project who, when he presents, many of the times when he travels and he presents on the project, it sparks international interest in the project. We at the second, or I think it was the third GapFest, we got a donation from an international NGO which helped to sustain the project, and that's really the direction we're looking to go. We're continuing on right now. So we are sourcing funding through international organizations. Many of the islands in the Caribbean also know about the project, and we have a lot of interest from Montserrat, also many of the other OECS islands who want to come on board and have this project replicated in those islands. So that's the direction that we're going in right now.
Okay, good morning to everybody. My name is Devon Bussa and I'm from Dominica. Two questions I had to ask. One was in terms of filmmaking on sensitive topics such as HIV/AIDS, where you interview persons who may be suffering with HIV/AIDS and the likes. How does one approach such person to get them to be comfortable with opening up on camera, which is, and we know that it has a potential to reach a lot of places, and that is a personal aspect of their lives. And the second thing I wanted to ask was that is there any program that forms part of the University of the West Indies in terms of filmmaking, videography, and those things? Because what I was thinking is that whether a certificate of participation is enough to get someone somewhere who wants to advance themselves in filmmaking. Is a certificate of participation enough? And if there isn't any such program at the UWI, are there any steps towards a structured program, like it could be a diploma or certificate or even undergraduate degree? That was my question.
In terms of the life documentary, Barrington, as I said, was supported by Richard. So it was something that Barrington really wanted to speak about. In actual fact, prior to that, Barrington, I used to do a radio show where I would link up stories from Jamaica over to the UK, a live link-up show. And Barrington wanted to be on my radio show, and he touched the hearts of a lot of people in the UK with his story. And then from that, Barrington himself wanted to tell people, because it's the condom breaking. We all think that HIV is caught through unprotected sex, and Barrington wanted to let you know that you can have a condom that can break, and if the condom breaks, you have to seek medical help. So it was Barrington that wanted to do that. And you will find people, in particular in Jamaica, I find that people do want to tell their stories to educate other people. Even if it's very sensitive, they do want to get their story out. And helping them get their story out, even if they are affected with this illness, is in the hope that they can prevent it from happening to somebody else.
I'm getting an indication that our time is up, but just to quickly answer your last question about how they can further their education in film, we have partners, CARIMAC, which is the Media and Communications department on campus, and also Evan Manley's School of Visual and Performing Arts. And we're in discussion about ways we can streamline persons who graduate from the course who perform really well into those different the different faculties. Also, actually, for 2 persons who graduated from the 3rd cohort, I believe, they got a scholarship to CARIMAC's animation course, and they graduated, I think, on the top of the class, and some of them are going on to do their own different animations. We can speak more on it after, but those are some opportunities that persons get to get official training with a diploma degree.
Before we go, I would just like to thank Theresa for this fantastic opportunity. It's been an awesome 2 days. I hope everybody's enjoyed it and can take something away with you, because I certainly am taking a lot. Thank you very much, Theresa. And also, before I go, I think that next time we do this conference, I think if we can have young people that make the films, particular for the conference, like you have your human trafficking, and if all over the Caribbean young people are making films about their experiences about human trafficking, and we bring them together and we edit something like that, I think that we can do something like that.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
I've been
definitely.
taking notes of the sessions. I'm going to add that to the recommendations.
Yeah, because I'm sure we all have our different experiences.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Marshae, EK, and Mellissa. This has been wonderful, and we hope to see you again at the event.